This is going to be my take on the boy beat. You guys already know what the boy beat is. If you don't, look at other people's videos. It's not original. But here I am taking my e.l.f. foundation serum in medium dark. It's a little bit dark for me right now, so I'm just putting it on the outsides of my face and where I would usually put bronzer or like sculpt my face a bit. I wanted it to add definition and warmth into the face. The e.l.f. foundation serum is pretty sheer, it doesn't add much coverage, but it evens out the skin tone and adds some like good color into the skin. It reminds me a lot of the Glossier skin tint, which I'm using now. I'm using that in the shade dark. It's much lighter than the e.l.f. foundation serum. Their take on dark, like Glossier's take on dark, is really strange. I wouldn't peg myself as being dark. I feel like I'm a true medium, especially in the winter time, but I don't know, dark is what works for me all over the face, so that's what I'm using here. Using the skin tint is just a good way to even out the skin tone while still keeping any sort of imperfections very clear. But I don't know, it's just nice to have something on the skin, if you know what I mean. Hopefully you do. I don't really know how else to describe that. So now I'm taking Benefit Cosmetics Quickie Contour Stick and I'm using that to sculpt my face. I really like the consistency of this contouring stick and I don't find it to be too cool toned. It's a good balance of warm and cool, kind of more neutral, but it might lean a little bit more towards warm in my opinion. I also put a little bit on my eyelids to add some warmth onto my eyelids. I like to make my eyelids kind of deeper to make them look like there's a little bit more tired, I suppose. I do that kind of on an everyday basis. I just like how bronzer looks on the eyelids. But I'm taking my Real Technique sculpting brush. I love this brush so much for anything cream contouring related. It's perfect. So now I'm using the BECCA Sunlit Bronzer in Bondi Bronze. I'm using that to deepen up the eyes a little bit more, make it kind of look like they're a little bit more dark and a little bit more tired, and also accentuate any bags that might be there. This is kind of a part of the look. You want to kind of highlight your flaws instead of cover them up. I find that idea to be pretty interesting. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to do the video. I wanted to see how I could do the look, how my take on it would be. I'm also kind of adding some more depth around my lips to plump them up a little bit more, to make them look a little bit more accentuated and like prominent, because I'm not really going to be doing much to them. So I messed up here a little bit. I took MAC lip liner in Spice, which I was thinking in my head would come out a little bit more brown. And I feel like it usually does, but right now it's just looking really pink. And I kind of try and fix that a little bit with some other products, but I did use MAC Spice to line my lips, which is like my everyday lip color. I always do that, but I don't know, it looked very pink. So I'm taking the Urban Decay 24/7 eyeliner pencil in Whiskey, and I'm really just adding that to my top lip to bring some brown into my lips. And also I wanted to make my top lip darker than my bottom lip because that's how my lips naturally are. And it's something that I don't really love, but I wanted to make that a little bit more prominent for the look. I'm also just adding a little bit of lip balm. I could have just left it as is, but I wanted to use the lip balm to blend in the eye pencil and the lip liner. So now I'm using my MAC Shade and Shape pencil in Spike. It's that like kind of pen, that liquid pen, kind of like a liquid liner for your eyebrows. I find that that gives me my most like natural hair-like strokes, so that's what I'm using for this. I'm just adding hairs kind of randomly all over my brows to not make them super uniform, but also fill in any spots that are a little bit more sparse, but still keeping them very natural and wispy and kind of wild as my brows can get, I suppose. I'm now going in with Glossier's HALOSCOPE in the shade Quartz. I feel like the HALOSCOPes give off the most natural highlight, which is very fitting for this look. I didn't want anything super beaming or like, you know, girly or makeup-like. This one is very natural, very dewy. It doesn't give off a bunch of shimmer. Like, there's definitely a little bit of shimmer in it, but it's very, very natural and just pretty on the skin. It looks really good, as you can see. I think so. So now I'm using Glossier's Boy Brow in the shade Brown. On the Glossier's website, you can actually get the HALOSCOPE and the Boy Brow for $30, and if you use the link down below, you can get an extra 10% off if you use my link down below. It's my rep page. I will get a little bit of money from it. So I don't know, if that makes you uncomfortable for some reason, you don't have to use it. It's short, I don't know. Or there's a bunch of other people out there that have their own rep links. If you would rather support someone else, go do it. But also make sure you save some money. Right here, I'm noticing that my lips are a little bit too pink, so I took the Quickie contour stick to brown everything up and kind of neutralize it a little bit. Here I'm taking Glossier's Cloud Paint in the shade Dusk. This is a very neutral, very natural blush shade. I didn't want to go with anything too pink, and I also didn't want to skip out on blush just because I feel like it kind of awakens up the face no matter what kind of shade you use, and I think that that's important, especially for my face structure and tone and everything about it. So that's why I went ahead and did that. But yeah, that's the completed look. Hopefully you enjoy. Definitely subscribe if you want to be notified whenever I post a new video, and hopefully I see you next time.